The stink of scandal is not easily washed off. This was witnessed by the unceremonious retirement of one Demetrius Finbar Laveau. Some may say forced retirement. Demetrius, being French Creole and always resilient, found himself back home in the New Orleans Police Department, which I must note has been confirmed as the most corrupt police department in the nation. I, on the other hand, would never again legitimately fight crime. I was bounced off the force never to return, even to the smallest, most remote police departments in the country. I was copper kryptonite. So in the face of my public shaming, I scuttled away to parts unknown until I was old news. I wandered for a time, drinking, doing odd jobs, drinking some more, until I eventually followed the cliche and rode the coattails of a woman I would soon cease to know to the shadows of the Big Easy. Tow truck drivers are not known to be cut from the silkiest of cloth. Rather, most are scumbags, miscreants, and parolees looking for a few easy bucks with a lax dress code and even more relaxed code of ethics. Now, I have ridden the graying line more and more as of late, but I would hardly term myself your typical tow operator. But it gave me a great cover and the freedom to answer the call of justice yet again with my unflappable friend and informal partner in crime, Demetrius Laveau. You see, neither of us were crooked cops. We just got caught up in a whirlwind. No, make that a tsunami of someone else's making. I drowned, and Demetrius caught a wicked lungful of seawater. Although neither of those events dampened our desire to make a difference and keep the balance of good and evil in the White Hat's favor, hence the unusual partnership between a lawman and a loser. On this unrelentingly humid Tuesday night, I was zipping down Airways Boulevard with Mahmoud Schwartzman's battered yellow 96 Crown Vic that has definitely seen better days, but was witched to be handled as though it belonged to Jay Leno himself. Now, you may not get this last reference to the host of The Tonight Show. You see, Jay Leno's a car buff. He has hundreds of cars, from the classic to the unique, and although Mahmoud's shitty beat-up gypsy cab was far from unique, especially in New Orleans, it was his meal ticket, and in a way mine. I towed Schwartzman's bucket a couple of times a week for the last couple of years. He and his Muslim buddies had the tourist transportation market nearly cornered here in the Easy. I have an informal contract with most of the owner-operated cabbies in town, and with the jalopies they roll in, there's no shortage of business, you know what I mean? I take my share of auto club and insurance company calls as well, but the hacks, they're an easy buck, and they like to haggle, which keeps me in information, which in turn helps me with my true mission, crime fighting. You were probably by now pondering the unusual pairing of names that my cab-driving cohort, Mahmoud Schwartzman, has. Well, let me clear the air for you. Mahmoud is like most here in the New Orleans, of many different stripes. Mahmoud is another half-breed, though he is even more of an enigmal combination than my pal Demetrius, because he is half Palestinian and half Jewish. Wrap your brain around that one. His mother and father grew up a few kilometers away from each other on the West Bank in Palestine. Theirs was a forbidden love, for scores of reasons. But most blaringly, the ethnic battleground they grew up on, and the sacrilege it was to befriend a person of either sex, much less fall in love with one. So Mahmoud's parents stole away to the United States and brought up their child in a less openly hostile and life-threatening part of the world. That gift was to be squandered on Mahmoud, though, for he shunned the chances he was given to succeed, and became a petty hood and a full-time cab driver. Now, I am in no way pissing on the upright and honest cabbies. No way, Jose. Just that Mahmoud and his ilk are dirtbags of the highest order, and shuttling drunks and unsuspecting tourists the long way around the Emerald City is just an easy cover to do the most harm and get away with it. Mahmoud's parents are sturdy people. They are from two different ways of thinking, but both of them are educated people who gave their boy every chance to succeed, away from the most perilous landscape in our modern times, and he pisses it away. Well, it's criminal, to put it accurately. As I climb down off my soapbox and back into reality, I admit that without the Mahmouds of this world, there would be no need for mine and Demetrius' services. It is just past 1 a.m. when I pull into Frenchie's Wrecker in storage. Lucky Louie is behind the dispatcher's desk, a dilapidated steel affair with a rolling chair so completely gutted it could pass for a basketball hoop with no net. "What say, Louie?" I mumble as I swiftly amble past and grab the last jelly donut and a cup of coffee that's 3 hours old, that at least 3 minutes old tastes like armpit soup, from the card table in the corner. My cell phone rings in my pocket. "Yellow? Some mutt's in my barking spot. Come tow his ass, would ya?" This is Demetrius' signal for a meeting. Eloquent he is not. His many years of chasing the dregs of society have sharpened the edges of his attitude. "I'm extremely busy right now." "Busy stealing Frenchie's last donut, I bet." "They look." Yeah, the towelhead cabbies are at it again, Shaymus." With this, I reluctantly reply, "All right, 10 minutes," and I saddle up for a potty store behind NOPD's 9th Ward Station. For those of you not at all familiar with New Orleans, there are potty stores all over town, for that is the essence of why New Orleans is labeled the Big Easy. The residents of the Easy, in my experience, have an uncanny ability to create reasons to let loose and party. Which is why, for so many, the city is both magnetic and often corrosive to those with less than superhuman willpower, as well as the lack of reasonable amount of parking spots for a city completely reliant on tourism. The back lot of almost any business makes a good cover for a clandestine meeting between a co-op and a tow truck driver. "Hey, what's doing, gumshoe?" "Fighting crime as usual." "Okay, spill it, D. I'm cranky." What else is new? The axes of evil cabbies are up to their old tricks." The axes of evil cabbies is Demetrius' smart-ass way of referring to Mahmoud Schwartzman and his brood of gypsy cabbies I made mention to earlier. Normally petty and annoying, the larcenous antics of Mahmoud and his cronies have of late graduated to the minor leagues, hoping to make it to the big show. What's the problem this time? "A man by the name of Leo Stoinowitz." "Leo Whowitz?" "Stoinowitz. He's an accountant." "Oh, geez, I thought you filed an extension." "Those IRS bastards." "He left his briefcase in a cab, and he's frantic." "Oh, D, this is really beneath you. The lost and found detail? Boy, you must really be in the shitter with the brass to be put on this bullshit case." Shaymus, will you stop jumping to conclusions and listen?" "Sorry, D." Leo Stoinowitz is an accountant with ties to the mob, and that briefcase has some very important documents in it. And the NOPD believes Mahmoud and his clan have the briefcase? Now you're thinking. What makes you think they got it? Well, the only description Stoinowitz can give us is the cabbie was wearing a turban and spoke very little English. Whoa, very PC of you, Demetrius. A turban and broken English. Your mother must be so proud. Oh, kiss my ass, Shaymus. You know damn well all the Muslim hacks in this town are in Mahmoud's stable of drivers. I know. I just love stirring the coals with you. What do you need from me, D? Keep your ears open and listen for any mention of a briefcase. Any, identifying qualities to the briefcase in question? Actually, there is. The case is a zero Halliburton. Zero Halliburton? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Well, it would if you're into high-end briefcases, but for our purposes, the fact that it is a shiny aluminum and secure case should make it easier to locate. Ah, very James Bond-esque of you, D. Oy, you're really in the mood tonight, aren't you, Shaymus? Sorry, D. I took a couple of slugs of Louie's toxic brew back at the lot. Must have activated my smart-ass enzymes. Smart-ass enzymes? Oy, now I see how you got your ass bounced off the force back in Beantown.